Good news. I have some recommendations for you on some podcast platforms that'll give you notifications when a new episode is released. That way you can stay on top of the latest episodes when they come out on sermon snippets. So I tested out like 6 of the big podcast apps. So I have been using Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So with all of these apps, I just put them all on my phone and have been signed up for notifications. Some of them went through and some of them didn't. So you can see there's a chart of all the results basically for all of these. But I'm just, instead of going through that whole chart, I'm just going to give you my top couple options for you for listening options. So first off, Spotify is really easy to download. It can sometimes seem a little cluttered, but the privacy is good on it as far as I can tell, and I did get notifications for the past 2 weeks that the new episode was uploaded. Sometimes it takes a while. It just, I guess, takes a while for it to upload on the different platforms, and they all give notifications at different times, but at least you do get it with Spotify. Next, I would say Amazon Music has always been really quick to give notifications pretty soon after I put the episode on there. So setup wasn't bad. The privacy seems pretty fine. They do ask some personalized questions to try to figure out like what you'd like to listen to and stuff like that. But it's simple and it's a nice app if you want to use that one. And it's free, by the way, unless you already have a subscription or unless you want to do more with it. But you can just download it and listen to the podcast. So that's good with the notifications. And then I would say Podbean is pretty good. I didn't get a notification for the episode today yet, so maybe that'll come in later. Or maybe my phone is just burnt out on notifications, because sometimes my phone does glitch and it just, for some reason, I don't ever receive email notifications. So I don't know. I think my phone is just kind of toasted on some of the notifications. But Apple Podcasts, I've never gotten notifications for, and I think that's because it's more of a background app where you have to have it pulled up and running in the background to get the notifications. But you can still use that as long as you just, if you're able to just remember each week, then feel free to use Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts, I got a notification for, but I wasn't that impressed with that app. Samsung, I've never even tried to figure that out. So if you're a Samsung user, you can try that out and see what you think. iHeartRadio was not my taste at all. They send a ton of emails, a lot of notifications, except for when you want the notifications of the new episodes. So I think maybe they're just geared for something else. It took me 2 tries to even get the app, and then they asked a ton of questions and stuff, so I wasn't that thrilled with that experience. But anyways, there's some options. Today we just put up episode 3, and it's taken a while to try to figure out all the aspects of doing a podcast and all the little bugs and things you have to kind of figure out. But it is up and going, and I've been studying, as I said, I've been studying this book for a while, and I just love getting on there and just trying to explain a few verses at a time and just working our way through the book. I actually have some of my books that I've been studying right up here. Some of these commentaries you can see. Some good ones. This is a really good one. It's a really old one, like a reprint. This one's pretty scholarly, but they don't use the KJV, so that's kind of a downside. They used to, I think, but I think it's just this new edition. This is a really good one. Got Ironside, John Phillips. So really excited about continuing this study, and it really pushes me to study more too. Here's a couple other ones. Ironside and The Coming Prince. This book I have kind of a love-hate relationship with, so you'll hear in the episodes when we get to Daniel chapter 9 what I think of this book. There is some good stuff in there, but also some things that are inaccurate. But anyways, hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday and a good rest of the week, and hopefully this gives you some good options that you can think through when it comes to listening to the podcast. And I'll see you in the podcast every week on Tuesday at some point.